Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Pay and welcome to another episode of Blu Ocean Crypto. Today we're going to do an introduction to Devikins. And this game has had my interest for a very long time because anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge turn-based tactics fan. I mean, Final Fantasy Tactics, Ogre Tactics, these are some of my favorite games growing up as a kid. So I've always been interested in this. I also really like that it's on Tron, so a little bit of a different network than what a lot of other play-to-earn titles are. And they actually recently just released or have their beta going for the combat. So you used to be able to only really raise them and work on kind of cultivating or breeding your Devikins, but now you can do the fun stuff, which is combat. So I think this is a great time for us to introduce this to everyone. This is something that is also available on mobile, so iOS and Android or the Google Play Store, which is a huge feat, of course, for NFT games. So let's just jump right into it, right? So they talk about how it's a turn-based RPG mixed with character breeding, and all of it, of course, is fueled by crypto tokens used in lieu of non-valued game currency. Awesome, pretty straightforward, right? You can see you can just go right to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store to download it. Talking about getting ready to fight. So this is what's been recent that they just added in, right? So some of their creatures and monsters and other players you can fight one day. Combat is in early development, but that doesn't mean you can't take a deep dive and learn about their phase 2. They do have a lot of information here. And like I said, this is what makes turn-based tactic games so interesting to me because usually it's very high-level strategy and it's not as simple or things aren't always as they seem. So learning how to formulate what's the best Devikins with the best stats, with the best abilities, with the best skills, that's going to make this very dynamic and very interesting. You can kind of see the video preview there on the screen of that. They do have a white paper, of course. I highly recommend you take some time to go through it. We will most likely do a deep dive on it down the road, but for now, this is just an introduction video. Now, I will admit, getting started was a little harder, maybe not harder, it just felt like there was a little bit more to it than you're used to with like an ERC20 project or Ethereum or Polygon. So, right, they explain very clearly here, you need to install the Klever wallet on your phone. You need Tron for gas fees, so the TRX. There's different ways that you can get that. You can purchase it from an exchange. They also do help you with that as well. After completing the steps, it shows you where the shop is. You can simply go to the shop on your phone. You transfer the TRX to the Klever wallet from your preferred exchange, just like I mentioned, Binance, any of them really that support Tron. Most of them do. And then you simply swap that to the DVK, of course, leaving enough left over for gas fees. And it even shows you kind of approximately what the gas fees are, which is nice. So you can almost kind of coordinate a little bit for that. And they talk about getting these basic packs. So there is a random factor with this. When you're opening these packs and stuff, you really don't know what you're going to get. That's good and bad. It's good in the sense that you could really hit gold. It's bad in the sense that that's one thing people don't like about microtransaction back in the days when it was like random loot boxes and a random chance, but it's very affordable. And I actually like kind of that, I wouldn't call it gambling aspect, but the randomness of maybe getting something super amazing. They do have a great video here that just kind of brings you through and shows you, each section on the app, what to do, double check the amount, talks about when your order is placed, how you can swap. The wallet's definitely great. It's easy to use once you kind of get going, but it does take a little bit to be like, oh, okay, new wallet, new network, new token, send it over here, unless of course you're already familiar with Tron. So it talks about what are Devikins. So they're NFTs that are playable characters. You can collect, breed, grow, and battle them. They're addressed as Devikin, that's the name. A cute being originally from the Void, which is the main world of Devikins. They exist inside and out of it. You don't have to be a player to collect these people, these NFTs. You can just hold them in the wallet, you can collect them. And I thought that was interesting because they've talked about that a few times. There's a lot of collectors, not just only players. But you'll see some of the stats below, actually. They're doing quite good, and they have quite an active player base, which is nice. So it talks about there's different rarities and elements that regulate how fast their attributes grow. And then you also have characteristics that are going to determine how they look and behave. So here's some of the ingredients, and we'll just take a minute to go through it. There's genes, which is what shapes your face. There's personality, which is what shapes your behavior. There's different rarities for affinities and genes. You've got ancestry, which defines your skin tone, then actual affinities themselves, which regulates how fast your attributes grow when leveling up, which means you probably want really good affinities. And then there's an overall affinity. Basically, it's kind of like that's your rating, right? Like your overall affinity is kind of the base score that you're going to judge your Devikins on. But it might be said, maybe there are some other aspects that you do really well at, but maybe not others, so your overall affinity is lower, but it's still actually a really good Devikin. Coming down here, it talks about how to purchase NFTs. Once you go to that shop link, it kind of just goes through this. This took me a little bit to go through. It wasn't that bad, and then once you do it, it's simple. You can just go through the process again, get the packs, get an awesome chance to get a really sweet Devikin and some other things. So here you can see, right? Your asset will be revealed, and then you got the new NFT. There's also the Devicoins, which is the main one down here, DVK. It's the utility token and the main currency. They're not your ordinary game currency with no real world value. They're cryptocurrency and they can be exchanged in the real world. Yep, we get that. But what's nice is this is a single token system. And I know we've all been like, yay, 2 token models for so while, but some of these single token systems are great. They work well. It's kind of showing us that maybe not everything is about 2 token systems. And you can see here, they've got the amount of DVK staked is incredible to see. Their market cap is 2.1 million. Their fully diluted valuation is 5.7. Circulating supply is 3.7 billion, and the max supply is 10. This is healthy to see. So this game is doing better than I think a lot of people know, and it's maybe flying under the radar a little bit. But I think a big reason for that is they haven't really done a big marketing push yet because they've been waiting for the combat to get all figured out and settled. And then, they're going to kind of move forward potentially with getting the word out there, so to speak. So pretty exciting to see this. I love this genre of game. I think it's cute. I like the ability to raise them, kind of take care of them, breed them. You have like your base you do that on. Then there's that whole separate, combat. They talk about Klever. So Moon Labs, which is the studio behind Devikins, works hand with Klever and the Klever Labs program, one of the top names in the field. They're a blockchain consultant on them. It helps people and investors alike take confidence in their projects. So that's a big thumbs up there. The NFTs, characters in Devikins are NFTs. We mentioned this as well. So they are tradable. You can hold them, you can swap them, lots of stuff you can do with that. But of course, the main use is utility for using them on your team in battle and trading. Once again, here, there's just a little explanation on how to trade the NFTs on the marketplace too. They also do a good job with their YouTube. So they do good at, there's different AMAs, new reveal trailers when there's new updates. Some projects do better than others when it comes to video content. And it's really nice to see these guys doing a good job at that. So definitely if you want to learn a little more, dig a little deeper, which is what I did, head over to YouTube. You can kind of get through all the videos relatively quickly and get a lot of great information. There's also a mailing list. I highly recommend these. I've been very surprised how valuable a lot of these play-to-earn projects mailing lists are. So I've been making a point to subscribe to quite a few of them, and it definitely feels like I'm getting alpha information, things first before they publish on their Medium or before they publish on social media. And this is kind of across the board for a lot of projects right now. So even if you've got like a junk email you can use, or maybe set up a separate email just for all these newsletters, man, there's some good information in there. So I do recommend it for them as well. And then taking a look at the roadmap, we can kind of see going back to 2021, we've got everything that's been completed, right? Pre-production, market research, development creation, the NFT shop, web viewer, phase 1 closed beta, which is the training system and breeding, launch of phase 1, which is in Q1 right now. And now we're on this seasonal mint event, Klever blockchain migration, that's been done. And then the closed beta, right? So we're right in between here. And then we've got the open beta, we can see coming up. So that's pretty exciting. And I'm pretty sure that's why they're making sure that they're getting the combat all sorted. Like you can do the breeding and training and all that on the phone, but you can't fully do the combat yet. So that's makes sense to me. They want the game kind of in a playable state based on a very important aspect of their game, which is turn-based, before they kind of open it up. And then of course they do plan on doing a worldwide release in May. So really exciting to see. And you can get their contract address here as well as the token. So I just wanted this to be a short video. I thought their website was fantastic for organizing the information and really allowing us to kind of go through it quickly, get a good perspective, give you guys some of my insight on this project because I've been following it for, close to a year now. I've known about Devikins for quite a while. I kind of madly researched every turn-based NFT game that I could quite a while ago. And yeah, this one has been on my radar for a long time, and I think it's a great time to get involved. It's very affordable, super fun, and lots of great things that they're doing here. So as always, thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and of course the bell notification to stay up to date. And until next time, cheers.
Don't forget about our 1,000 subscriber giveaway where you can win $200, and if you need more information, be sure to join us on our Discord. See you there.